Hey there, welcome. We live in a world that is just full of noise, right? It's always telling you who you should be, what you should want, what you should do. So, how in the world do you find your own true north in all that? Well, today, we're going to dig into a really powerful guide for building that exact internal compass so you can start navigating your life with way more clarity and, honestly, a real sense of purpose.
Man, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures this weird paradox of modern life. We've got algorithms, experts, life hacks, endless advice right at our fingertips, and yet so many of us feel this quiet emptiness inside. It's that disconnect, That gap between the life we're living and the person we kind of feel we were meant to be.
So let me ask you, does this feel familiar at all? This idea of being a ship just adrift at sea with no rudder, getting tossed around by the waves of what everyone else expects, or by your own fleeting emotions? Or maybe just taking the path of least resistance? It's a feeling some people call existential disorientation. And trust me, it is way more common than you think.
So, what's the fix? What's the anchor in the storm? Well, it all comes down to understanding and really defining our core values. I want you to think of them as the navigational tool we all have, but maybe haven't learned to use yet. They're the compass that once we learn how to read it, will always point us back to our true north.
Okay, so let's be clear. A deep core value isn't just a preference, right? It's not like liking coffee over tea. No, it's way deeper than that. This is a foundational principle. It's a belief that's so fundamental to you, it literally forms the bedrock of your identity. It's the standard you use to guide how you actually act in the world.
And this is a really important distinction to make. The difference between values and goals. See, goals are destinations. They're the what, like I want to run a marathon or I want to get that promotion. You can achieve them, you can check them off a list, done. But values are the how. They're the path itself. They're about how you want to move through life. Do you want to be courageous, compassionate, curious? You never complete a value, you just live it every single day.
So how do you know if something's a true core value for you? Well, it has to pass these 4 tests. First, it's got to be enduring. You value it just for what it is, not for what it gets you. Second, it's your why. It's the deep motivation behind your choices. Third, you have a hierarchy. You might value both security and adventure, but when push comes to shove, one is probably more important. And finally, and this is the big one, it's so central to who you are that when it's violated, it doesn't just feel bad, it feels like a personal attack.
Okay, this is the good stuff. How do we actually find these things? The way our guide frames it is so cool. It's not about inventing your values out of thin air. It's more like an archaeological dig. You're excavating what's already inside you, buried under layers of expectations and noise. So let's grab our tools and get to work. Here are 2 really powerful exercises you can try. First, I want you to mine your peak experiences. Think back to those moments when you felt totally alive, completely fulfilled. Now, what was going on there? What was the common thread? Was it a sense of challenge, deep connection, making a contribution? Those threads, those are your values. Okay, second exercise, project into the future. Imagine your 90th birthday party. What do you want your loved ones to say about your character? That you were kind, courageous, always learning? That's a direct hotline to what you value most. Now, beyond looking to the past or the future, there is a third tool for this dig, and it is incredibly powerful. It's something you have with you every single moment of every day. Your emotions. They are a real-time compass, constantly pointing toward what truly matters to you. I mean, think about it, right? What happens when you get really angry or resentful? It's almost always because a core value, like fairness or respect or honesty, has just been stomped on. Or what about envy? When you feel jealous of someone, it's not just about what they have. It's a giant flashing signpost pointing to a value in you that isn't being fulfilled. Maybe it's a value for creativity or adventure. And of course, the good stuff, joy and pride, those are the clearest signals of all. They're telling you, yes, you are living in alignment with what matters. All right, so discovering these values is a huge first step. But for them to be truly useful, to actually change your life, you have to move them from being just a vague idea in your head to being a concrete guide you can use. And the magic for that transformation is simply writing them down. I absolutely love this analogy.
An unwritten value is like a ghost. It kind of haunts you, it's fuzzy, you can't quite grab onto it or get a clear look at it. But the second you write it down, it becomes a guide, something solid, something real, something you can look at every single day to make sure you're on the right track.
See, the act of writing is so powerful because it forces you to get crystal clear. You can't just get away with saying you value success. What does that actually mean to you? Does it mean financial freedom, making an impact, mastering a skill? Writing it down forces that precision, and that moves it from a fuzzy feeling to a clear, actionable principle you can actually commit to.
And this example just shows the difference perfectly. Look at the left, honesty. It's a nice idea, but it's vague. Now look at the right, radical honesty. It has a personal definition, the courage to speak my truth, and then, this is the most important part, a specific measurable behavior attached to it. I will have difficult conversations within 48 hours. Now see, that's not a ghost anymore. That is a guide.
So, let's recap. You've done the dig, you've found your values, and you've written them down with clarity. Now for the final, and let's be honest, the most important step of all, actually integrating them into the fabric of your daily life. This is where you actually start living your true north. Because really, the whole point of this entire process is to close that gap that so many of us feel between the person we want to be, our ideal self, and the person we actually are in our day-to-day choices and actions.
So how do we actually weave these values into our life? Well, here are 3 awesome strategies. First, start setting goals that are a direct expression of your values. So instead of lose 10 pounds, it's have the energy to be present with my family, if you value connection. Second, try habit stacking. Attach a tiny value-aligned habit to something you already do. If you value learning, maybe read 1 article while you drink your morning coffee. And third, design your environment. Shape your physical space, your social media feed, even your friend group, to make living your values the easy choice.
And the payoff for doing this work, it's huge. And it's not about being perfect, not at all. It's just about having a direction. The result is a life that you live with a deep sense of intention, a profound feeling of personal integrity, where your actions and beliefs line up. And because of that, you have the ability to make a truly meaningful impact on the world.
And so we end up right back where this whole journey starts, with this one simple but absolutely magnificent question. So my challenge to you is, after this is over, just take 5 quiet minutes, grab a pen and paper, and honestly ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Your answer? That's the first reading on your compass. Thanks so much for joining me.